Sara Pennypacker's lecture, and it was much about how to make your novel memorable. How to make your novel memorable. Sara Pennypacker is a bestseller author and award-winning author. She wrote Pax, which is an amazing novel that I read, and I really, really love it. Her writing is absolutely beautiful. First question, you talked about something that I thought was really interesting. That was omission. When you decide to not reveal something, to create suspense or just to make a scene stand out more.
The simplest way to explain it is when you have a sentence that describes a humorous event or a dangerous event or some form of important event that you would like the reader to remember, I recommend not saying that sentence. I recommend working around the sentence about the action. For instance, in my first book, Clementine, I never say in the opening page that she cut off Margaret's hair. I say, Margaret's hair is not my fault and she looks fine without it, and then I go on to something else. The reader has to say, oh my gosh, she cut off Clementine's hair. Makes the reader part of the storytelling, which makes him or her very happy.
Yeah, which is interesting because you think, like, as a reader, if you ask me, I said, no, she said.
She did say that, but I didn't
but
say
you
it.
didn't say it.
You said it.
You talk about a lot the psychology of writing, and what I want to know is like how you apply those concepts of like how the human mind works into your writing.
Some of the things I've learned are that in terms of images, the most memorable images are those which have human beings or parts of human beings in disturbing or unfamiliar settings. For instance, a human being emerging from a big vat of jello. If you saw a picture of that, you would not forget that, whereas you might forget a picture that you saw of a human being buying a newspaper at a newsstand. It's something about the disturbing connection of these two things that you just don't expect. So I use that in my books. And one more thing I think I had said was that I find, for me, the scenes I think are memorable are the ones that are a little bit disturbing. I don't think we remember the scenes where everybody's happy and there's no tension. I think we remember the scenes that make us uncomfortable.
Yeah, because they command attention.
They do. And they put all your nerves on edge. And when your nerves are open and on edge, that's when the writer can get in. I say it's kind of like you've wounded them. If you wound them a little bit, your book is like bacteria. The bacteria gets in where the wound is. Some other things that I use psychology for is I keep up with what my readership age is going through. If I'm writing chapter books, I spend some time studying what 7 to 9-year-olds generally, what their growth process is. What are some big concerns for them? Is it about being separated from their family? Are they concerned at this age about being rejected by friends? These are all things I need to know because I've passed through them. So I can't write a book that will resonate with children if I don't remember what it is children are going through.
We talk a lot about how to make your novel memorable, how to make memorable scenes, but what can you do to make a scene memorable?
The more vivid, the better. One good thing to do is when your character has kind of a speech or something that you know is finally time to say, I spend a lot of time on those words and I forget about the rules of keeping them in that character's dialect or even within the vocabulary I've established for the character. That's the time for oration. When there's something, when you just say, nope, I'm not going to take it anymore, I spend time on that. Another thing I use is rhythm. When I want a reader to remember a section, I go look at some poetic meters and see if I can put them. If you've ever heard Hiawatha read out loud, you'll know what I mean. You can't forget that.
Yeah, you mentioned the example in your book. What's the thing with the leaves? I forgot the entire sentence.
They fed on the leaves in the dark of the night until they were ready to fly. That's a sentence I created to just say my characters were like gypsy moths. But I didn't want it to just say that. I wanted it to sound like poetry. Because I think we remember that. I think
it has a sound to it that's very appealing.
Yeah, I think it goes into our memory.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.